Hello and welcome to the Justice for Gamers video game podcast. Episode 11, brought to you by PJ, aka Dizzle. In this episode, we've actually bought some new games. Project Cars. Project Cars. Project Cars. Project Cars. That's about it. So, yeah, Project Cars.
Hello and welcome to the Justice for Gamers podcast. This week sponsored by PJ. PJ, for when you have hosting fees and then he pays for your hosting fees. Thank you to PJ for paying for our hosting fees. You have now paid for our hosting fees, PJ. And I'm joined by my good friend Ash. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm a couple of beers down.
Nice.
And I'm feeling rigid.
I'm a bit frustrated after doing like an hour's worth of website work, thinking it was only going to take 10 minutes. So, not so great.
That's the
here.
definition of website work, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll just do this. It'll take a minute,
Yeah.
and then days later.
Yeah.
You're
Because
still doing it.
everyone really wants a border of 15 pixels around every image. Standard, without you knowing.
Yeah. Yeah, so on our website, every image that you put onto the site, it uploads with a border of 15 pixels, an invisible border to baffle and confuse you when you're trying to edit anything together. Which, but we know that now.
Yeah, know that now. Thank fuck. But yeah, apart from that, my week's been good. I've been playing games because I got new ones. Got quite a few new ones. Obviously, I haven't actually touched the PS Plus ones. But yeah, games, buddy.
Games.
At least 3 new games I can think of. Off the top of the bat. And also, off the top of the bat.
Top of the bat.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also, I managed to finish one of my all-time favourite games of ever. Finally finished it. So yeah, I'll talk about that later though.
Sweet as the punch, buddy. It sounds like you got lots to be tucking into in the what we've been playing section.
Probably not. I can't remember much of it, but I've been busy.
Good news.
Indeed.
So I guess we'll talk about what's new on the site this week, shall we?
Yeah, go on then. I don't
Okay,
think there's much, is there?
Time to look at what's new on the site this week, brought to you by PJ, master of Pro Evolution Soccer 2015, Project Cars, and all other games whose titles include the words soccer or cars. Gaming year is in full swing. All of the articles are uploaded and people have been doing some voting and stuff, and my year is winning, and what do you fucking think of that?
It's clown shoes. That's what it is, mate. Fucking clown
It's
shoes.
early doors. We're going to leave that going for a couple of weeks to get a decent
Then probably
cross-section.
forget about it.
Probably, possibly just never. This is the last time you'll ever hear about it.
Yeah.
What this sentence I'm saying right now.
Right now.
The Outlast video's up, and an Ether 1 First Play article is up, and we are working on a Project Cars First Play and a video for that as well, because we got Project Cars.
Yay, new game.
We got Project Cars, and we really like Project Cars, and I love Project Cars.
Yes. Yes, you do. But it is
Yes,
a
I
very
do.
fun game. I've enjoyed it. I've only played it online. I haven't bothered with single player because, I'm busy with other games doing single player. But yeah, online's lots of fun. We had, 5 of us the other night racing on that? Obviously with Bronze AI on. And,
Oh, yeah.
Classic Bronze AI. And had some classic battles going on there. Really good fun.
It was the only thing we played on game night.
Yeah.
Just that, start to
no.
finish. I didn't get bored. I didn't want to change game.
Nope. It was fine.
And if it hadn't been like 2 a.m, we probably would have kept going, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so. I was a bit tired by that point, and I knew that I was going to get up in about 4 hours, which I did. Very hungover, not feeling good. It was great. Good Saturday. Yeah.
Lovely stuff. That's the sacrifice you make for a good game night, is a shit Saturday.
It's true. So worth it, though.
So, I suppose we should move on to the next section, Ash.
Yeah, go on then. What's that?
The next section is what we've been playing. Sponsored by PJ. Leader of men, lawyer of men. Leader of mice, he will not provide legal counsel for mice. So, what have you been playing this week, buddy?
Wolfenstein finally came, like I said last week. I've managed to get my feet under that, or teeth into it, or
all
other
these
analogies of me being
you're a master of analogy.
I'm all about it, you know. I don't think anyone's as good as me, and I challenge you to a duel.
I think my favourite one was about. I only noticed it because it was the podcast that I edited together, but I think you used the phrase "coming out the woodshed" rather than woodwork, which I really liked.
It's the woodshed.
And I've started using that now.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to mix it up, you know, change it.
You like to edit the truth.
Yeah, editing the truth. 2015, me. So yeah, Wolfenstein. I've probably played about 3 to 4 hours, so barely touched it at this point. It is really a good shooter. It's fun. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the negatives. I'll go into that in a bit. I'll talk about the positives because one, I've been waiting for a new game, and this one was the one that I got, and I don't think that's made me biased towards it. Maybe a little, or maybe the fact that I haven't played a shooter since Destiny, which didn't go down so well. I mean, like, the shooting mechanics in that game were great, but the game in itself was toilet. Whereas this it's cool because it feels very, not old school, but, you know, that classic kind of, no, I've got guns, I'm going to kill lots of people, in a way, you know, just running around. Apparently there's stealth sections. There's a nice game mechanic where there's like some kind of comrade guard or something on that level. I don't know, commander I'm going to go for. Whatever the Nazi version for that is, probably commander. And he's obviously got the radio to call in reinforcements. So obviously, I think that you're meant to like sneak around, kill everyone around him, and then get him. But I literally just run at him, try and find him, because what it is, there's like how many meters away it is. It doesn't tell you what direction, so I just run in a direction until it starts going down, whilst being shot at repeatedly, and then find him and then just stab him in the neck or the head. The stabbing animations in this game are horrific.
I was going to say, I've heard that they're quite graphic, to say the least.
So one time I run up behind El Commando, or whatever his name is, kick him like in the back of the leg so he falls on his knees, and then like...
You granddad him?
Yeah, mate. And then just stabbed him in the top of the head, like through the skull, like three or four times, then ending round at the neck, I think it was.
That'll leave a mark.
Yeah, so I like that aspect that reinforcements are going to come in if, you know, they get all angry and whatnot, which is, you know, it makes sense. They would if you were storming their castle or whatever, cathedral in it. But but yeah, it was a great opening scene as well. Like it's very action packed. I thought I was just gonna like just play through it and just be like, yeah, done. But I seem to be finding myself trying to find all the secret areas and shit, and I think that's ruining it a bit for me. I don't really want to be doing that. I just want to fucking blitz through it. Like, I'm playing it on like normal mode, so it shouldn't be too hard. But there are some downfalls to it, I must say. The shooting on it, I don't feel like the weapons have that much power or accuracy. Now, like I said, I'm only just starting off. So, well, no, right? So,
Right.
yeah. So you start off with like a machine gun, which is fine. So you're just running around blatting people. That doesn't feel like it's got any weight to it at all. It just shoots. It feels like it's shooting like BB guns or whatever, or BB pellets, I should say. And then you get like some other light machine gun or something. And it's got like an iron sight on it, and like I'm like, okay, right, I'm gonna zoom in. It's got like the crouch mode on it, where you hold, I think it's like L1, and you can peer around the side. So I'm like aiming up for like these headshots, like not too far away. I can see down the iron sight that it's definitely going to shoot him in the face, and then it gets him in the arm. I'm like, no, it's just annoying.
Weird.
But then again, maybe I'll get like some better weapons later on. I'm guessing you can. A good thing is you don't have to just hold two weapons. You have a full wheel of weapons, like GTA style.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so you can pick and choose to whatever you want. There's
It's old school, man.
yeah, exactly. It's really cool. Like, you can dual wield these big guns as well, which is cool. Dual wield pistols, silence pistols, and shit like that. It's wicked. You can go on gun turrets, and you can pick the turrets off and walk around with them, which are pretty impressive. All in all, like, I'm really enjoying it. A lot of people are saying it's funny that we're talking about, like, what's it, the New Order? Is it the one that I'm playing? And then like the new DLC ones actually like come out last week or whatever. The old.
That was going to be my next question. Was has this done enough to pique your interest in the DLC?
Probably not, because I've got like another like 20 hours of this to play, and I think that'll do me. But if you do want to play like a bit of shooty, first-person shooter game, I would definitely recommend like either this one or probably the DLC, because a lot of people are saying the DLC is a lot better, like gameplay mechanics wise. It's ironed out a few of the issues that are in this one.
Yeah, people have said it kind of strips away the bollocks a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, and also I believe the DLC actually is before the New Order.
Yeah, it is, yeah, because the original game's set in the 60s and the new DLC is in the 40s.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think you can get that on... There's another thing, a beautiful thing about the standalone things. You can buy them on disc, and I've seen it in stores for like, or online stores for about £10. So, I mean, for £10 you pick that up and then you can trade it in again, probably like 5-6 quid. So it's only 4 quid you're spending on it. I mean, I'd do that if I didn't have this. But if not, if you do want the whole 20 odd hours of Wolfenstein, like I said, I only bought it for, I think it was 13 quid online, so you can get it dirt cheap. It's a cracking game. Really, really enjoying it. Looking forward to finishing it.
Nice, man.
Yeah, man. It's cool.
What else then?
Well, we pre-ordered the Magicka 2 game a while ago. When it popped up on the store, because it came with the cheeky, not beta, but early access Sneaky Peek, I think it was called, or Sneaky Peek.
That's right, yeah, I think so.
Which was quite funny. I mean, like, if anyone hasn't watched the trailer for that game, you need to watch that trailer. It's like a bit of a piss take of Game of Thrones, but it is very, very funny. And yeah, so we played the first level, isn't it? Like, there's the tutorial and then there's the first level of that in the Sneaky Peek. And
baffling control system.
I was going to get onto that, but alright, we'll go for it now. If you ever played Magicka on PC, this is so much better because the controls are so much easier on a controller. Fuck me, if you play Magicka on PC, like, I just wanted to die when I tried to play that game. It was horrific. Like, I mean, the beauty of that game is like it looks really cool and it is really funny, and like the whole you can mix your elements, so you have like 8 elements to choose from, and you can mix them all up and they create special powers and things like that. On PC these were like 8 of the keys, so like A, S, W, D and all the rest, like 8 of them around there. And then you'd click and then move around there. Like, luckily on this, you're moving with your analog stick, aiming with the left analog stick, kind of like Helldiver style. And then your 4 buttons are 4 of the elements, and then while holding down a trigger, it emulates the other 4 elements, which is...
Yeah, it's like a shift, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a shift. And that is... I know you said it's like a ball ache, or, like, you know, it's baffling.
Like, it took me some getting used to.
Yeah.
But I've got no point of reference. I haven't tried the PC
original
version.
Yeah, but compared to the PC version, this is like absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to buy this game. I don't know if I'm going to buy it on release now, seeing as we've just had an abundance of new games, so I might hold off until it just pops off into like one of the cheeky like 20% off or 30% off sales, which seem to be coming around quite a lot at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what did you think of it? Did you get
I liked it. I was expecting it to be a little more accessible. I found myself sort of tripping over my own controller a lot of the time, but I've no doubt that I'd get used to it quite quickly. And yeah, I can't get enough of these like little shooty, fun co-op games that I can play with you and with the rest of our lot. Like, yeah, I've always been quite interested by the original Magicka. I watched some YouTubers playing it, and yeah, I thought it was really cool. I think we'd play the balls off it. But as you say, we've got such an abundance of games because we just had PS Plus come out, and we've both managed to sneak 2 or 3 other games as well over the last few weeks. So yeah, I could probably wait for it, but it's so cheap. It's like £12 or something, like new, and that'll probably have a PS Plus discount on it at launch as well, because most stuff does when it hits the store. So yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah, cool. And the final game that I've been playing this week is the fantastic GTA 5 once again. Oh yeah. And I finally finished the single player. And if you haven't finished that single player campaign, I beg you, go and do it, because it is absolutely amazing. I mean,
Okay.
like, yeah.
Bye.
See you, buddy. Have fun. I'll just do the rest on my own. So yeah, the reason why it's awesome, because like, I'm guessing a lot of people, if you're still playing GTA 5, has done the online heists, which are fantastic. I mean, doing the heist with your mates even are just wicked. But I forgot the how the single player heists go, and they're like in a, I don't know, not the same league, but a different league. Like, not better, not worse, but the swapping between the 3 characters, I completely forgot about that, and the way the characters develop together and things like that, it's just so good. And I can't really say anything about the ending of it because it will just ruin it for everyone else, but seriously,
Don't you fucking dare.
just go and do it. Like, someone kind of spoiled it for me like about a year ago, and but even though I knew something was going to happen, I was still like, oh my god, it was wicked. But seriously, just go and do it. And now, obviously, I've got all the money, and I've kept all my assassination missions to the end, so I can manipulate the stock market and make millions, which is a good idea.
Sneaky boy.
Yeah, so if you haven't done all the assassination missions, don't do them until you finish the final mission. Just a heads up, so you can get mega bucks.
Gibbon.
Yeah, so that's pretty much my week. Obviously, Project Cars on game night and a few other nights when we've been on, but I think you can talk more about that because I've only played it online, and my impressions at first, it wasn't great, But then after about, well, you can tell them why my first impression wasn't great later. But by the end of the night, I was all over it, and it was awesome. So what have you been playing this week, buddy?
I've been playing Project fucking Cars.
Okay.
And very little else. And I would like to immediately throw myself at your mercy, dear listener, because I obviously read way too much into my experience in Game of Blue Water when I last week I didn't lay into this. I just said it's like stupidly hard, like super hard. And having done a little bit of research, I sort of suspected that maybe someone had been in there and dicked about with all the settings and turned all of the assists off and turned off traction control and everything. So it was just raw and awful. And that was the case, because it's nothing like that at all. So let's start from scratch with Project Cars. It's a fantastic racing game. It's got a bit of everything. It's got all different disciplines. It does all of them really well. The track selection is brilliant as far as I'm concerned. I like touring car racing, and there's a load of touring car tracks. Despite not having the F1 license, it's got 4 or 5 Formula 1 Grand Prix tracks on there as well. Loads of interesting stuff. Bathurst, Laguna Seca, the Nordschleif's on there. There's some nice point-to-point stuff as well. I don't really know. I don't really know what to say. I'm just kind of gushing over it. I've sunk 18 hours into this game so far, and that is not including game night last Friday. I've been playing this game a lot.
Just a bit.
It's the first game I can think of on the PS4 that I've been like, I need to play my PlayStation right now. I was talking to one of our other friends about this, and there's been plenty of really good stuff on the PlayStation, and certainly Last of Us probably would have been in this camp as well had I not basically played it in one sitting, as I do on some occasions. I want to play this all the time. I'm constantly thinking, it'd be really good to play a bit of Project Cars. And it's just a constant thing. I was watching the Grand Prix at the weekend. I was like, I really want to play Project Cars. I was watching the touring cars at the weekend. I was like, I really want to play Project Cars. It's got a huge number of options, a really cool career mode, sort of multi-tiered career mode where you can choose whatever disciplines you want straight off the bat and try different stuff. The online is stable and solid. There's a few glitches here and there, but I'm sure that they will iron those out. One of the glitches being sometimes in a race, if you pit, then the game doesn't realise that you've pitted. It thinks you've like cut the corner, and it will give you like a speed penalty for a certain number of seconds. We've seen that happen a couple of times.
Yeah.
There's a few little rough edges, and in terms of production values, it's not really, I don't think it's like super slick, but that kind of has endeared it to me more. It's just really fun, and you can make it really hard as well. I've been practicing my Atom round Brands hatch ready for my track day in a few weeks' time.
Have you done it in the rain, though, buddy?
Yeah, the rain's ridiculous. Yeah, the reason that Ash wasn't sure about it at the start is the first race he came into. I had like thunderstorm mode on in cars that were not grippy at all.
Yeah, I was not happy about this. I was like, what is this? This is shit.
Yeah, but since then we did the French Coast track in those Formula Golfs, and that's like playing Ridge Racer. Like, it's like an really arcade cool, game.
My highlight's the go-karts.
There's a bit of everything in there. I'm literally just gushing over it, so I don't want to talk about it too much longer. But it's the game that I've been waiting for all this time, and it's completely appeased any sort of sort of desperation I had for Formula One, to the point where I'm like, well, yeah, hopefully that game's good now, but I feel like I've got my fill here, so yeah, it's great. We're going to play so many hours of this game. It's going to be, it's our new Gotham. It's not really the same sort of game as Gotham. Gotham was far more arcadey. I'm talking about Project Gotham 4. That was our racing game of choice on the 360. This is more of a sim than that, but it's great. We're going to master it. We're going to love it. We're going to play it for months, possibly years to come. I'm delighted.
Indeed, buddy. So, like, what's the closest car game you can really think that it's nearest to?
I think in terms of what it's trying to do, probably Forza.
Yeah.
But in terms of the sort of the handling model and stuff, it's kind of twitchier than that. It's kind of more sort of, I think it's more Formula One. It's more like sort of F1 2012 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I've always found Forza to be very stark. Just I don't know. There's always been something about Forza. I've never thought it's looked particularly good. I've always found it very sort of just flat. That game has always fallen flat, and it's got all the things that I like in a racing game, but there's something about it that just doesn't take me. This feels more lively. It feels more.
That's totally. I agree with that. Like my experience with like Gran Turismo and Forza, they're games that feel slow to me. Like they feel like simulations, and it just doesn't feel like there's any speed behind it. But with like the F1 games, that game makes you feel like you're going fast, and this Project Cars has got a lot of that behind it, which I really like about it.
Yeah, it simulates speed. It's right up there with F1. I mean, obviously we'll have to wait and see what the new F1 game looks like. It's going to be running in a new engine that comes out in about a month's time. But yeah, the cars feel really fast. All the different camera angles, just the wealth of options. It's like a sort of PC sim, really. Yeah, the sort of stuff you can do. You can basically build the game how you want, and some people won't like that. Some people won't like the lack of structure in career mode. Some people won't like. It's kind of got there's a mentality there where it's sort of find your own fun. And I'm more than willing to do that. Some people maybe would prefer to be funneled through the game in a very linear sort of capacity. It doesn't bother me in the slightest.
No.
There's things that it could do better. At the moment, the online system, you can't build like a playlist of races on there. I think there's a decent selection of cars on there, and not the best thing is, like, although there's only a few cars in each class, they all handle very, very, very differently. They've all got very different braking points, very different handling models. But they could maybe do with more. It's certainly the first time I've been interested in DLC. Like I'm constantly looking to see what they're going to bring out, what tracks. I'm excited for the DLC. I've never said that sentence before. What I just said there. This is my sort of game. We must stop because I could just go on forever. But
what else have you been playing?
I've been playing Thief.
How are you finding this game? That's about a year old. We're both playing games that are like a year old at the moment.
Yeah, and came out roughly the same time.
Yeah,
as well.
They did, didn't they? Weird.
Gives you some sort of idea of our financial positions. But I really like Thief. I think it's cool. I know what's wrong with it. It lacks a bit of atmosphere. It feels like a slightly clunkier version of Dishonored without some of the cool powers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that blink power in Dishonored kind of wrecked that game because it was just like, where can I blink to next?
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it, and it's the sort of game. It reminds me of Splinter Cell, the way I used to play some of the Splinter Cell games, where I will restart a level even though I haven't failed it, because I want to do it perfect, because I want to get it right.
I know what you're saying.
That to me is the sign of a really good stealth game, is where the game doesn't punish me and I end up taking it into my own hands and being like, no, I wanna clear this building without being detected. Like, I think you said last week, you found it where you could pretty much get out of trouble most of the time. Like, if you did get rumbled or something went wrong, you could basically like blackjack someone to death and you'd probably get away with it.
Yeah.
It's not. This isn't a fantastic, spectacular, wonderful thing, and it feels like a sort of first 12 months new gen title, with the limitations that come with it. But I'm really enjoying it. I'll definitely play it all the way through. That'll probably be the end of it. I don't think there's much replay there. I might be wrong. Maybe I'll get into it more, but. Yeah. I'm really enjoying it. I haven't played it very much this week because Project Cars, but it's cool. I like it, and I'll definitely play all the way through.
So you're saying you want my DLC code?
I do want your DLC code. Thank you very much.
No problems, buddy. I'll hunt it out.
Right, moving on. I played Air Mech Arena, which is a new free-to-play game on the store.
Yeah, I had my worries about this.
I played the tutorial. That was enough for me. I didn't really give it a fair chance, so I'm certainly not going to condemn it. But it felt to me like that worst type of strategy game, the sort of strategy game where your reflexes and speed of movement kind of are the most important thing rather than any sort of strategy. It could be good. I don't want to comment any more on it. I didn't give it a chance. I did not give it a chance, people. I had new games to play and I dipped a toe in, and that was all.
Yeah, that's all it needed.
And the only other thing I've been playing is a few PS3 games on the PS Now beta, which I got the code through for this morning. And I'm very impressed by this. I know you've got this as well. Have you?
I forgot that I had this. I didn't really forget because I got it today, but I forgot to mention it in mine. I played Just Cause 2 on that earlier. It was great. I was playing it on the Wi-Fi, so I wasn't like wired in or anything, and I didn't have any kind of button lag. It was fantastic. I'm very impressed with the service. Unfortunately, PS3 games are really old now. I didn't realise that. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing. I totally echo what you're saying about the connection thing. I had my worst. I had fears about that because of our remote play stuff.
Yeah.
When you do the test connection, I've got like a 55 meg connection, and I'll test the connection, and it will tell me that it's too slow to share play anything. This obviously doesn't operate in the same way because I had absolutely no problems. I didn't notice button lag. I didn't notice any sort of issues at all, to be honest.
No slowdown, no nothing.
Everything I played ran
fluid.
Perfectly. But as you say, looked toilet because we forget how much better these consoles look to their previous models.
It hasn't taken long to completely forget that as well. Like, I still remember like the 360. I'm like, no, it couldn't have been that bad, could it? But like playing these games, I'm like, wow, that's like, and like Just Cause 2 is like a big open game. That was quite a feat back in the day. But like looking at like watching the cutscenes and like the animations of the characters and stuff, I'm like, wow, these are dated.
Yeah, man. I mean, I played Mirror's Edge, and if you remember a couple of podcasts ago, I played that on a PC. And yeah, Mirror's Edge looked fucking ropey on the PS Now. But it just, I presume that's just because it does look fucking ropey on a PS3.
Yeah, I think so.
Still really impressed though by the
what a service. I mean, I remember
works.
on Live when that came out, like, I don't know, like 4 years ago maybe, and I was playing
I think it was longer than that, man.
was it about 5 years or something maybe? It was definitely within 5 years because I've only been here 5 years. And I remember playing it on my sofa and on my phone. I think it was like one of the Colin McRae's or something, and I was just like, wow, this is the future of gaming 5 years later. Maybe. I don't think it is. Like, I think it's a really cool service. I think the pricing that is over in the States is ridiculous for the games and things like that. But
Yeah.
like everyone's said already, you know, if it's a subscription-based thing, then yeah, possibly. Like, I mean, you can access all them games. I mean, how many games is on there? There's probably like 30 games that we can play for free at the moment, something like that, isn't there?
Yeah, something like that on the beta. I think, as you say, I think it's subscription or nothing. I won't be buying PS3 games to stream on fucking PS Now.
No chance.
But if it was an extra, I don't know, £4 a month maybe on top of my, I don't know, maybe that's a bit steep even.
I don't know, like, so
I'm not sure what I'd pay, to be honest.
yeah, I know, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, Netflix is what, like £6? Spotify's like a tenner.
I mean, we're not going to use this all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So maybe we would be better off with a rental model, provided it was
reasonably
dirt
priced.
cheap.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
that's the problem, is it won't be.
No,
You just know it won't be.
It'll be like when you used to rent like 360 games from Blockbuster and stuff like that, like $4.50 for like 2 nights or something. You're like, fuck that shit. That's well expensive.
Yeah, well, you can buy it for that, can't you?
Yeah,
If you go to,
exactly.
like, Boot Fair or something.
Stupid. But yeah, really, really impressed with the quality of service. But yeah, still doubts about the price points.
We'll tuck into it. I mean, I was playing World Rally Championship 4, which
Is that a racing
is
game?
shite. It is a racing game, buddy, yeah. I went into online and it gave me the option to create a match, create a race or whatever, and then I went into add friends or whatever, and it had my friends list there, so I presume we can actually play multiplayer on PS Now, which is cool, especially if they were to add Vegas to it.
Mine kind of crashed when I started playing Just Cause 2, because you know what you do, you go in the menus and you always mess about. So like I think it was like DLC. I was like, oh yeah, what DLC is there? It's like, yeah, there's no DLC available right now. I'm like, okay, and then it just kind of like black screened. I was like, I've broken it already. That didn't take long.
Well, it is a beta, a private one.
But
of that.
it all it did was it black screened for like 2 seconds and then just booted the game up from the beginning. I was like, meh, I'm happy with that. It's fine. But yeah, it does seem like you can you can get a basic access of the what is the thing called? Like, it used to be called the guide on the 360. What is it now? The menu? I don't know.
What, on the PS3?
No, on the PS4 or whatever it is. You know, where you get your friends list up and stuff. Whatever that is. You can get,
mate. It was Cross Media Bar on PS3. I don't know what this thing's called.
Well, yeah, you can get a basic version of that where you can send and receive messages from your friends, and that's about it, I think. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see if we can do some online. I mean, if you say you can, then yeah, we'll give it a go.
I want to know if we can share play on PS Now. And I want to know if we can Twitch stream PS Now multiplayer sessions. Those are 2 questions that need answering.
Okay, we'll do that then. We'll find out.
I always want a little bit more. There's one of our Q&A this month is this week. Sorry, is relating to that. You always want a little bit more.
It's true.
So I think we should move on, because we've been fighting on for ages, the pair of us.
Well, I think it was about time that we chatted shit about a lot of games that we've played, because we've barely played any games up until this point. I think.
That's true. No, it's a fair point.
And one of them did come out this week, so it's very relevant to...
Yeah, which is rare for,
Yeah,
rare for
it is
Justice for
very rare
Gamers.
for us. Bar the PS Plus titles.
Yeah, which everyone fucking gets anyway.
Yeah. Go on then.
Okay, let's move on. And now it's time for Fonz or Phoenix. This week brought to you by PJ. It's always sunny in Billericay.
Yeah, it is.
And this week we have a Fonz.
No. Yeah.
It was looking like a phoenix,
It was,
but it's a
wasn't
Fonz.
it? I mean,
So you mentioned this last week.
Yeah.
You I can't remember what you said to me now, but it was to do with GTA 5, wasn't it, on PC?
yeah, loads of people were complaining for getting banned from GTA Online for using single-player mods. So they didn't really know why they were getting banned.
Yeah, and that sounded really bizarre and very un-Rockstar-like.
Yes.
Well, Rockstar decided enough was enough, and they came out with a statement this week, basically calling out everyone who's been complaining. I don't know how this rumour started. I presume it started from people trying to meddle with GTA Online,
Yeah,
who then
probably.
pretended like they weren't. But Rockstar says single-player mods are fine. They've always been fine. They'll always push and promote those. No user has been banned for using single-player mods. Last week reports that some users have been banned. It's actually because they were tampering with GTA Online. So the only people who have been banned are people who were trying to, fuck about with GTA Online itself. And single-player mods are fine, and Rockstar are, of course, fine with that.
Yeah.
But if you start dicking about in people's online sessions, then they will find you.
They will hunt you down. Did you see that guy that I can't remember what game it was? One of the online mass. I think it was like Guild Wars or something. There was someone that had been cheating, and the devs took control of his character, stripped him, and made him jump off a tower. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, it was brilliant. So like I said, loads of people or some people were complaining about it, and they got video footage of him cheating. So the devs were like, "Yep, we've got the footage now." So they stripped him literally of his clothes, and took control of him and walked him on top of the main castle or whatever it is. Made him do a wave and then jumped off to his death. And
It
then
was Guild Wars 2. I've just googled
There you
it while
go.
you were telling me about it.
There you go.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, "That's fantastic. That's so good."
Yeah, you
That's
played
what
a
we
lot of that,
said.
didn't you?
Yeah, I did play a lot of that actually. It was cool. And my account got hacked, and then next time I loaded it up, I was level 80. I was like, "Sweet, save me fucking doing it."
It's like reverse hacking.
I know.
I'm going to break into your account and I'm going to make you much better.
Yeah, I was like, "Thanks, mate.
Okay.
That's fine." But yeah.
Either way, I'm pleased that that's a Fonz. I was concerned when you mentioned it last week. I was quite worried that Rockstar
Yeah.
were going to tarnish their good name in some way.
True.
But they haven't, so it's cool. And that is Fonz or Phoenix.
I need a beer and a whiz.
And now it's time for the news.
The news.
The news. The news, sponsored by PJ, creator of news, destroyer of news. Number one. Apple Watches, mate. What do you know about Apple Watches?
Yeah.
No, I couldn't give a fuck either. Either way, do you know the most popular app on Apple Watches right now?
I do, because I can read it It's in the notes.
Yes. It's Tamagotchi. Relevant because we've spoken about Tamagotchis several times before.
Indeed.
So yeah, buy a £300. Is it 300?
I don't know.
300.
Who cares?
What are they for? I don't understand.
So you can have your phone on your wrist.
But as I understand it, they aren't. It's like a relay thing. It's like PlayStation TV.
I don't care.
You still need the iPhone to, like, you need it in your pocket to be like Bluetooth to it or whatever, as I understand it.
Great. Totally worth it.
Number 2.
Yeah.
GTA 5's Rockstar Editor, which is the editing suite that it came out. Well, it came out on the PC, didn't it? With
yes,
the launch of that thing.
PC.
Fully featured editing suite, like sort of Final Cut type thing, specifically for GTA. It's coming out on the consoles. We're going to get it as a free update in the summer.
I like that because it's free. Free stuff's always good.
Yeah, I mean, for people like us, that's pretty decent news.
Yeah, man. That thing's ridiculous anyway. Like, it doesn't just like render your view, it renders like the whole scene. So you can get a camera angle from anywhere.
Yeah, you can pan around it even if you didn't have a person there or anything.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely
mental.
So good.
It's very cool. We'll have to have a little play about with that. I'm sure we can get stuck into that when it comes out.
Gibbons.
Next one. Dishonored is coming to PS4 and Xbox One, according to a listing by the Brazilian Ratings Board.
Okay. Wow, that's the one way of coming out, isn't it?
Yeah, there's been quite a few of these little leaks this week of European shop fronts.
Yeah.
Remember we had the Uncharted trilogy possibly leaked a few weeks ago. Well, the Brazilian Ratings Board have listed this. They've also listed Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which is potentially the Gears of War original remake on Xbox One.
That's cool.
Did you play Dishonored? I can't remember if you did or not.
Yeah, I had it on PC, buddy. It was sweet on PC.
Complete
it? Beautiful. No, I don't think so. As with many PC games, I never complete them.
I proper liked that game. I really, really liked it. It had its limitations. As I said about the Blink thing when I was talking about Thief, it kind of took over the game completely. The ability to sort of do short teleports. But really pretty game, cool.
I found it in the same aspect of like I was saying with Thief. It's like I'd be crabbing away, and then for whatever reason, then I'd be spotted, and then all hell would break loose, and I'd have to scamper or whatever. And I don't know, like I couldn't be asked to like start it all again. So I'd be like, oh well, let's just go from here. I've killed a few people, carry on. But yeah, really cool, nice art style and stuff on that game.
Yeah, very much so. It's a lot of sort of Half-Life stuff going on in there. I'm pretty sure that some of the team that worked on Half-Life 2 were involved in Dishonored. It had that sort of Source engine feel about it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a good thing coming to the next gen console. I don't know what it's going to do. I mean, it's quite an old game, so...
Don't you think they've missed the boat a bit there? Like, it's the sort of thing that should have come out in the first 12 months of the console.
I think so.
There are, I mean, they're still being, they're still releasing remasters and stuff, but the bulk of them at this point are like PS1 games or Resident Evil or whatever.
Yeah, like
whereas when we first kicked off proceedings, we had stuff like The Last of Us and, GTA, I suppose. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they kind of missed the boat there. But it was a cool game. I think it did pretty well. I was kind of waiting. I kind of presumed with the way that E3 looks to be shaping up, I presumed that they would be announcing Dishonored 2. I don't know if a Dishonored remake would have some sort of involvement there, maybe part of the announcement or whatever.
Yeah, linking it in and stuff like that, possibly. Yeah. Could be.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I'd play that.
Either way, it's a cool game, but I certainly wouldn't pay for it again.
No chance. I think I only bought it for £3 anyway, but still.
That's PC gaming for you, isn't it?
Yeah, that will happen.
Next, this is another possible leak. This time it's a Spanish retailer. A 1 terabyte version of the Xbox One might be on the way, possibly announced at E3. There's even a rumour that they might do that thing where it's like, and it's out now in the shops now.
Classic. And everyone here's got one as well, kind of thing.
Yeah, you're
that
welcome.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Take the bung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah. Extra space is always good because these games are getting fucking huge now. So, yeah. That's fine.
Is the Xbox One's hard drive replaceable like the PS4 one is?
No. But
Okay.
you can plug in external ones. I don't know if you can use them to play games off or stuff, but I know you can plug them in and use them for shit.
Yeah, that 500 gig that they both the consoles launched at is woefully small, like completely too small. It was
Especially
inevitable.
if the Xbox One was gonna be a digital-only console at one point, wasn't it? I'm sure it was.
Well, yeah, with the whole family sharing thing at the forefront and no disc trade-ins and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, there you go, 500 gig, fill your boots. Ah, fuck. 2 months later, I'm fucked. Oh well.
I haven't found it an issue up until this point. But that's kind of a mixture between two things. One, I very rarely have more than maybe 4 games on the go at a time. And 2, my internet speed is decent by international standards, and it's not that much of a pain in the arse for me to re-download something. But I could see it being an issue.
Yeah, I mean, I installed a 2 terabyte because I was like, well, I can do that, so I will. And I did.
And I'll get there in the end.
And I'm like, well, yeah, cool. I don't have to delete anything for fucking ages now. I'll just leave it on there. I'm happy with that. I should be fine with the 2 terabytes, I reckon.
Right, it's time for our special feature in the middle of the news. Are you ready for this?
Is this one sponsored as well?
It certainly is.
Okay.
Creed Watch.
What?
Creed Watch, sponsored by PJ. PJ has been known to play Assassin's Creed, but isn't a massive fan. PJ.
I thought it was going to be Destiny, or not Destiny, The Division. Well, at least it's Ubisoft, though. I'm fine with that.
I do have a Division story, but this is Creed Watch, sponsored by PJ.
As in the band Creed.
It's got nothing to do with that. I don't think so, anyway.
Cool, okay.
That'd be something if they announced a partnership with Creed.
So, at 4:30 the other day, I was on YouTube at work and I was like, oh wow, look at this. There's the unveiling of Assassin's Creed. So I popped it on whilst at work and I was like, yeah, no one else can see me watching this is fine. And I was on IGN as well, which didn't help the matters. And then they're just chatting shit for like 10 minutes. I'm like, fuck this, turn it off. Then just forget about it until the next day. I'm like, oh well, something happened there. And then, oh yeah, Syndicate, innit? Yeah.
I'd imagine you were watching one of IGN's slow motion analysis reveal trailers.
Oh no, it was their live thing where they have like a pre and post show. So they would like say
For a trailer?
yeah. Oh no, wasn't there wasn't a whole gameplay live unveiling, wasn't there? I'm sure
Yeah, there was some sort of reveal event.
Yeah.
I've just kind of compiled a list of little tidbits and facts about about the new Assassin's Creed.
Go on then, because I'd like I said, I totally forgot about it by the next day, and then by then I didn't care about it.
Okay, well I did. I did care about it.
I do.
Because I really liked Black Flag, and they kind of boned Unity, but it tends to be in a franchise if it's kind of fucked one year, if it's completely like boned, then it tends to be quite good the following year.
Yeah, it seems to pull it out.
I'm going to go out there and
ass.
say that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Assassin's Creed, the new Assassin's Creed is called Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and it is set in Victorian London. You play as a twin brother and sister. They're called Jacob and Evie, who are thieves or some shit. I'm reading exactly what I wrote earlier, so that they are thieves or some shit.
Nice.
So it looks like Ubi are finally addressing their bullshit about it being too expensive to create a female character model, which is nice.
Classic.
It'd be too expensive.
It's just
It'd
too
be too
much money.
expensive,
Yeah.
Too much aggro. Who can be bothered?
No.
So yes, there's going to be a lot of gang-related stuff. Apparently, like the city's kind of split into zones, and you can take control in a sort of, well, to me it sounded like whatchamacallit, San Andreas kind of thing going on there.
Yeah.
There's a return of the horse and carriage, which was absolutely abysmal in previous Assassin's Creeds that have utilised that. Apparently this time there's going to be sort of horses and carts going along, and you can jump on them at any time and kind of take over them GTA style. So
Get a
that's one of
fucking
its-
Uzi out. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Uzi Conga.
Yeah.
There's going to be some. The violence is more brutal. That was a selling point. There's a rope launcher. The zip lines.
I heard the rope launcher's a big deal. I don't know why.
I think it probably will be. It's like there's a rope arrow on Thief, isn't there, where you can shoot an arrow up. It sounds like that to me. It's kind of set at the same era as The Order, and it's kind of got a tiny little bit of that sort of steampunk thing as well. So it doesn't look very.
Lots of moustaches. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's kind of got that feeling to it.
Yeah.
Either way, the release date is the 23rd of October. It's not coming out on last gen, which is cool, but then Unity didn't either, and it was still bollocks. So we'll see. The reason that I was excited and rather than am excited is because there is absolutely no multiplayer of any kind in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. They've done away with the multiplayer. Make of that what you will. I mean, before Unity came out, one of the major selling points was those co-op missions that you could do with, three friends or whatever. In my own humble personal opinion, this is an opinion and not fact. I would suggest that rather than spend the extra money on manpower to create a far more polished game with less bugs, having completely ballsed Unity, they instead just removed the multiplayer aspect completely so that they could use the same team and probably get it right, because it's, not so grandiose. It's not so... They're not going for such a big deal this time round. But that's just me, Ash. What do you think?
I reckon we buy Unity, mate.
Do you think it's Unity o'clock?
Yeah, probably. You can get that for like 15 quid pre-owned and stuff. That ain't bad. Probably all right now.
It is cheap.
Bugs are probably fixed. Mate, we could hoon about, doing stuff. It'd be sweet.
Yeah, we might want to look into the bugs being fixed a bit. I'm not sure. There's obviously this is how things work now, apparently, although they don't have to, but this is how they do. There's a wealth of price points and day one DLC. Hooray, Ash!
I love day one DLC because, why put it on the disc when you can sell it for more money?
Yes, on day one.
Yeah.
So we're going to make it. We're going to make it at the same time as we make the game. It'll be ready when the game's ready, but then...
It's there, it's waiting for you.
Yeah, but then we'll take it out the game, though, and pay more.
Yeah, if you want that, give some more money.
So yeah, 55 quid RRP, 65 quid for the season pass. There's several different collector's editions. Certain editions have certain missions, meaning that probably no one who doesn't spend like £500 will be able to play all of the content, just how we like it.
Sake.
The top pack is £120. The Big Ben edition, you get a Big Ben case, a statue, a book, a hip flask, and some other stuff you probably don't give a flying fuck about. So yeah, there you go. That was Creed Watch. You're now all clued up on Assassin's Creed. I reckon it'll be quite good. I think it'll be quite fun, and I think it'll be decent. I like the setting. Victorian London sounds cool, but it's just going to be more of the same. And there's no multiplayer this time. So yeah, it's Assassin's Creed, innit? What do you want to say? What else can you say?
A question about the Big Ben edition. And now, is the collector case Big Ben?
I believe it is Big Ben shaped.
Now, isn't Big Ben the name of the bell and not the actual building?
Technically, yes, but I would describe it as Big Ben the building, personally.
Well,
I've no interest in those particular semantics.
Fucking just... I'm not happy about that.
That's why you won't buy it.
That's why I'm not going to buy it, because...
Not because you couldn't give a fuck about it, but because of that.
Yeah, it's factually
because of that
wrong.
misstep.
Yeah, mate, it's wrong.
So, so that's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Let's move on. And we move on to Ark. Have you seen Ark?
Yeah, it looks cool, buddy. I'm reasonably excited about this.
I like the look of it as well.
Dinosaurs and shit.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen anything about this, it's an open world, first-person dinosaur survival game.
Like it.
In a sort of kind of Rust or DayZ kind of thing. Probably Rust, I think, is what it reminds me of the most. But yeah, it's a big open world game where you are trying to survive as a certain person. It's all online, there's loads of other people playing on each server and so on and so forth, and there's dinosaurs, which I think you can tame and you can ride, which is quite cool. Including pterodactyls. You can ride pterodactyls and fly about and stuff.
Let's do it.
It's got building mechanics where you can build like a fort and then turn that into a bigger fort and add bits and pieces to it. There's foraging and everything. It's all online. It looks nuts. It looks cool. I very much like the look of it.
When's it out?
There's a Steam early access beta type thingy in the summer.
Something's happening in summer.
Yeah, it's hitting PC in the summer in one form or another.
Yeah.
Whether we'll see it this year or not, I'm not sure, but it was on the PlayStation blog this week, so it tends to suggest that
it's probably coming to the PlayStation.
It's not miles away.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
Sweet. I'm looking forward to that.
So we like that. Here's your Division story, buddy.
Oh,
the Division delayed till 2016.
Yes.
If you thought the Division was coming out in 2015, then you are mental. Quite frankly.
Haven't they hired another team or something to work on it? I read that somewhere.
Fuck knows, mate. Maybe they hired another team for the podcast, the Division podcast.
Maybe, probably, but I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that they've got another team in of developers or whatever to work on that game. God knows what they're doing on it, but probably trying to get it finished or working. Working will probably be the one.
Yeah. I'm not excited about that anymore. I'd love it to be good. I'm 90% that it won't be. So we'll see.
When I think I read this on Polygon, and it read like delayed till Q4 2016. I was like, fucking hell, that's like Christmas time 2016. It's not, is it?
No, Q4 as in this financial year. So
yeah.
It should be out end of March at the latest.
Yeah, end of March
they're saying before the end of the financial year. The Division will be available for better or worse.
Fucking stupid financial year. What are you on about?
Yeah.
Q4.
There's nothing we can say, really. We don't know anymore. They haven't announced anymore. What I will say is if we don't see an absolute fuck ton of this game at E3, and if it isn't playable in various guises on the floor at E3, then I'm going to be hugely pessimistic about it. I really need to see something very substantial at this point to not just dismiss it as another Watch Dogs. But we'll see, I suppose.
Co-op Watch Dogs.
And our last news story of the week is about the Ratchet and Clank movie. Have you any interest in Ratchet and Clank? Did you ever play Ratchet and Clank?
No, but I do have one on my Vita that I intend to play on my holiday in a couple of weeks. So I will let you know how I get on with that. But no,
okay, cool.
Never really got into it.
Okay, well, we won't be able to talk about this very much then, because I don't know anything about Ratchet and Clank either, other than it's a very well-respected action platformy thing. They are making a movie. It was announced a long time ago that they were making a movie, but the cast list has come out this week, and it looks very cool for what I was expecting to be a fairly sort of low-budget, low-brow Sony kind of made-for-TV movie style release. The cast list includes Paul Giamatti, John Goodman, Rosario Dawson, Bella Thorne, and Sylvester Stallone as well.
That's pretty cool. Should be a good one.
It should be.
Yeah.
And that is the end of the news.
The news?
The news.
Who's positively just as sweet as can be? Who's absolutely made to order for me?
So now it's time for the next section, Ash. Are you ready?
For
Out This Week.
Woo! Yeah.
Brought to you by PJ, sponsorer of sections regardless of what section he is sponsoring. But this section that he is sponsoring is Out This Week, which he is sponsoring. PJ.
Nice.
And the first thing out this week, the big one, probably the only big one, not probably, definitely the only big one, is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, buddy. Are you excited about this? You had this pre-ordered for some time, and then you were like,
yeah, and then I cancelled
what was I thinking?
I know. I don't really know what
happened
I was
there?
thinking. I am a bit annoyed because I pre-ordered it on the store and it was like on there for like 40 quid. And I cancelled it, and then it went back on for pre-order for like £47 or something. So, I could have saved £7 there. But then again, I would have had to spend £40 to get the game.
I'm more interested in knowing why you cancelled it.
I wasn't sure on it, really. I think I must have cancelled it back in like January or February or something. And I don't know. I was just like, you know what? I don't know if I'd like this game or not. I'm going to wait and see. It's the whole pre-order thing. It was going through we were going through the motions of like, oh, we've pre-ordered like 3 or 4 games or like previous like AAA titles, and they've been absolutely dog shit on release day. So I'm like, I'm not doing that again. So that's why I cancelled it, really.
No, it's fair enough, man.
I don't know whether I'll pick this up or not. I mean, like a lot of people are saying that this game is good and it looks good, but it's quite hardcore in a way or in a sense. So it's not like you like Skyrim where you can run in there and hack and slash your way through it. You've got to take your time, but like not as much as like Bloodborne and those type of games. But I don't know. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen because it's got so many pre-orders already, so it's already sold buttloads, and I think a lot of people might be disappointed with this game.
I certainly think they will be at the moment, and I think you were probably right to cancel your pre-order because I've been doing quite a fair bit of reading about this, and there are real performance issues with this game right now. Huge problems with it. massive frame rate issues and clunkiness and glitches and stuff. It's just not running smoothly at all, certainly on the consoles.
Do you think that might be patched out with like a day one patch or anything? Or
most places I've been looking, they've said that if they manage to patch out those problems on a day one patch, then that would be the greatest patch anyone has ever coded.
So wow.
Genuinely, I'm talking massive performance issues, huge frame rate drops and all sorts. When this podcast goes out, that patch will have hit. So,
yeah, true. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, I did the right thing by not pre-ordering because games aren't ready when they come out. Apparently. Yeah,
I mean, there's already it's already been quite blatantly looked like it had been downgraded to me in a sort of Watch Dogs fashion. The fact that they've done that and also it's not running right.
Well, there's that whole discussion or heated debate about is it downgraded or is it optimized?
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. A lot of people have been talking about that this week. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. If you have to downgrade your game to get it to run on the platform you were claiming it was running on, then
it's downgrading. Yeah,
you're downgrading it.
Yes, I agree with that. If it's optimizing, it means that you've got it running on that already, and you're making it better.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I
agree with that. Why did they need to downgrade it? Is that the reason that they downgraded it is because they were showing off a fully fledged top spec PC build at all of their events, and they were never going to hit anywhere near that on the other editions.
That's the same thing that happened with the Xbox One, isn't it? But yeah, we won't go down that road again. What else is?
I think that The Witcher is actually probably really, really good. From CD Projekt Red's track record, I've no doubt if there are serious issues, they will fix them. They're one of the good guys in terms of development studios.
Yeah.
But it's one of those games that there's just so much to do, so much to see. That it's fully open world this time around.
Yeah, so much to break.
Single player. So, yeah. We'll move on because we haven't played it.
No.
To a game. Do you want to take a stab at this word?
Epanalepsis.
I thought you'd go down the anal road.
I went for anal.
Epanalepsis.
Epanalepsis. Is that it? I don't know.
I think it's epanalepsis.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Yeah. It's coming out PC, Mac and Linux. It is a cyberpunk-inspired RPG adventure game from Cameron Kunzelman. That's his name. It's a good name. I watched a video of this. It's a sort of 2D RPG adventure thing.
Okay.
Kind of home-ish, but with lots and lots of actual voice acting and dialogue and stuff.
Okay. So not just text.
No, looked quite interesting.
Cool.
So yeah, we got that. Porcunipine. There's a running theme with the Out This Week section this week in that all of the games have got really fucking stupid names that I can't say.
That's cool.
So Porcunipine?
Yeah.
Porcunipine. Porcunipine. I'm going with that one, with the emphasis in the second half. I think that sounds better.
Sounds good.
Porcunipine is a top-down version of Towerfall Ascension, from what I can work out. I watched a video, I read a preview, and it looks a lot like Towerfall Ascension, but you are a porcupine, and you can shoot your quills at people.
Of course you can.
But yeah, it's top-down sort of, yeah.
Well, like old-school Zelda kind of view, like...
top down from above, but all the other mechanics looked very, very Towerfall-y to me.
Okay, that's odd. I'd like to see that. I might have to YouTube that, see what it looks like.
Yeah, it looked cool, and the developer is called Big Green Pillow, which I also quite like.
That's nice. Good name.
Swords and Soldiers 2 is out on the Wii U. The Wii, we seem to be getting a lot of Wii U releases.
Yeah.
I feel like no one else really knows that these games are coming out. We do, because we've decided to do an Out This Week section, and that's the only reason.
What is this then?
This is a side-scrolling 2D tower attack RTS game. I had this exact game on my... No, not this exact game, but basically what I was looking at when I saw this was a version of a game that I had on my... I think it was on Android, and I cannot remember what it was called, but you had loads of different units which you slowly unlocked, and you sent them charging across to the right of the screen towards a tower. And the computer had a load of evil ghouls and monsters that they were sending at you. So it was like tower defense, 2D side-scrolling thing. You're attacking their tower and they're attacking yours and so on.
I'm really struggling to picture all these 2D games. I don't know why. In my head, I'm like, how can that work? Because it's 2D.
It's a bit weird.
What's the angle?
It's like Sonic. The angle's like Sonic.
And then, okay.
You got your two towers either end of the map, and it scrolls from left to right the screen.
Yeah.
And you send your troops from left to right to attack the computer's tower, and they all charge to the right. And meanwhile, the computer's douchebags all charge to the left and try and take out your tower, and there's a big fight in the middle.
Sounds lovely.
So that's that. And finally, Techno Babylon.
Like it. Cool name.
Yeah. Epinelepsis, Porcunipine, and now Techno Babylon. So this is another 2D cyberpunk RPG game. The second of the week.
Okay, cool. We're going there.
This is from Gemini Rue, and it is basically 2D Blade Runner RPG. Cool. It looks really good. Garnering a lot of interest on early access, and it is out this week on Steam.
Lovely jubbly.
And that is out this week.
Cute.
I am above you. Heaven only knows how sad I've been without you.
Do you have a question for us here at the Justice for Gamers podcast? Every week we'll be ending the show with questions and comments sent in by you. Pop us a message on one of our social media sites or send an email to contact@justiceforgamers.com and we'll do our best to sort you out. And now it's time for questions and answers, brought to you by PJ. We don't know the answer to everything, but we know a man who does. PJ.
It's true.
We've got two questions this week, Ash.
Yeah. Go on then.
And one of them's from me. Now, I'll leave you to decide whether you think that's a bit of a poor showing from our listeners or not.
Well, a little bit.
While we read the first question, which is quite philosophical, I would say. This is from Simon. He says, "Are we ever satisfied?"
Is that
Project Cars is effing sweet, but we were still like, wouldn't it be good if it could just do this or this? Is that taking the piss, or should the devs add all this shit in as DLC? If you want a season pass to mean something, then having a say on what should be added would be a reason, surely.
Yeah. I don't see why we can't say that we want more out of games. Like, everyone's going to have some sort of view on how to improve something. Quite a few devs do listen to feedback from customers. I guess you could call us customers, or game players and things. But I don't think we're taking the piss. No. If it's a good idea, then yeah, it should be in there. But the problem is, then they might just be like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, I'll wait for next year to put that in, and that can be our major change for next year's thing. Like, they could hold stuff back just to say
they definitely do that.
Yeah, we know that.
I've read interviews with not just picking on EA Sports, but I've read interviews with the guys who make FIFA, where they've said, I think this was in 2012, and they said we We've got some really good ideas for FIFA 13, and we're also working on some ideas for FIFA 14.
Yeah.
They would probably argue that they don't have time to
Develop
a
it.
12-month turnaround to add everything in that they want to, and they have to start working on things preemptively, otherwise they're never going to get anything done. But it's a complex one, isn't it? Because I think it comes down to what you're talking about. Like, for example, our football idea, where I can't really understand why no one's done a full co-op career mode on either FIFA or Pro Evo, where you literally play your Master League campaign or your season, your career mode season with whatever, take control of your club, and you're playing in a league and you sign players and, single player career, but with the ability to play with, a certain number of friends.
Yeah.
Maybe have one of them in control of transfers, one of them in control of fitness and training. Whatever you want. It seems so fucking obvious to me that is something that should be in football games.
MLB, the show... Was it the show 14? The one we bought anyway, last year.
Yeah.
That had not a co-op career, but it did have an online career, didn't it? Where we could pick different teams and be in the same league together. And that was really cool. Like, I think there was 3 of us in it, and then the rest of them were the AI. And we'd play each other, and then we'd play the computer, and that would be our league. And no, that mode isn't even in football games. I don't see why that isn't in
closest we've come with that was before this year's PES, where they've brought in the My Club thing. They had Master League Online,
yes,
which kind of operated in that way, but it was more like a sort of FIFA seasons mode, but with transfers basically. That's gone now because they've brought My Club in to rival Ultimate Team. A lot of the time I do wonder if it's just because of the success of Ultimate Team is the reason that we're not getting this game mode, because to develop it and to implement it, there's nothing in it for EA Sports.
There's no money.
Financially, there's nothing in it. They want people to be, playing Ultimate Team. That's where the money is for them.
True.
Konami probably feel the same. And I mean, you look at some of the things that have been implemented in those football games, and I think a lot of the mechanics in there, like 11v11, including, with the goalkeepers that FIFA had sort of, 3-4 years ago now?
Yeah, it's got to be.
I feel like that is harder. That's a harder thing to implement than what I'm talking about. I feel like you could do it. Yeah, it's co-op, isn't it? It's just co-op, playing against the AI.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an example. But to me, it comes down to sort of ideas for the game. You can kind of come down in separate camps, like mechanics. For example, Drive Club comes out and everyone's like, why aren't there any private lobbies? Now, Simon's spot on. That is something that should be in the game beforehand. And if it's not going to be in the game beforehand, then it has to be in an update. It has to come out. And that is a game mode that had to be there. And it's ridiculous that it wasn't. Yes. But then if you're talking about maybe gameplay mechanics and ideas in that regard, or storytelling mechanics, then this is a creative piece, isn't it? This is artistry in some way, and you got to give them creative control to decide to make sort of creative decisions. I don't think we've answered it at all. No. The question is, are we ever satisfied? No, we're never satisfied. Even with GTA, we're not satisfied. Like, things like in that can be better, but everything could be better. I think the ones that are the most annoying to gamers is when we'll be playing with maybe like 4 or 5 of our mates, and we'll load a game up for the very first time, and one of us will go, wouldn't it be really good if this was in there? And everyone will instantly be like, that's just what I was thinking. And you're thinking, well, if everyone looks at this and thinks that instantly, then there's probably thousands of people picking up this game and wondering why the fuck this isn't in there. And that's when it's frustrating. Was it Black Flag? I'm pretty sure we did that for some reason on that. We were like, oh, that'd be better if this happened.
And we were just like, yes, that would be better. I think it's
Yeah.
like co-op missions or something like that in the multiplayer section. But yeah, they tried that with Unity and failed.
If you head on to Justice for Gamers website, there's an article from a week or two ago about missing game modes, which might cover that sort of thing
Yeah.
a little bit better than we are right now. But yeah, I think the answer is no, we're never satisfied, because if you're someone who regularly plays games, then you've probably got the sort of mind that is always thinking, oh, I wish I could do this, or
Yeah.
oh, wouldn't it be good if I could do that? So no, we're never satisfied, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing either, because you want to be pushing developers forward, and some developers are getting much, much better at listening to feedback as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we just keep barreling on.
Yeah, man. Why not? I'm not too sure about if it's DLC or not. But, maybe not.
Yeah,
Depends
I mean, the
if
DLC
it's
thing.
justified as DLC. That's the thing I'd say.
I just don't know where I stand on DLC, to be honest.
I know, right? It's such a
I don't know
thing.
what I think. I feel like someone needs to tell me what I think about it. My gut reaction is that I hate all DLC.
I didn't mind it back in the day when it was just like, you know, an extra few maps or something like that for like COD or whatever. But then when it started getting stupid, like, yeah, you can get a fucking diamond ring for your ear on that guy, and it gives him a perk of he's got +1 accuracy. It's like, fuck off. Pointless shit.
I think I hate all of it. I think I hated the maps as well.
Really?
I hate all of it. Yeah, I hate it. All of
Okay.
it. But it's not going anywhere, and I'm
No.
fully aware of that. And I also completely understand why developers want to release DLC. I haven't got my head in the clouds in that regard, but I hate it. I liked it when we were playing Mega Drive games, and if they didn't do it in Sonic 2, then they'd do it in Sonic 3. I liked the progression, and games felt like they'd moved further forward because all of the ideas that couldn't be implemented in the previous game weren't then slowly dished out across the lifespan of that game. They were saved up for the next iteration, and that made sequels better.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about it. But I understand why DLC is there. And as I said to you earlier in the podcast, I am very interested to see what the DLC is on Project Cars, and I am well
Yeah.
up for spending money on it because I
True.
love it.
Yes.
So yeah, we move on to our final question, and it is a question from me, Ash.
Yeah.
Who is the best?
It's a great question, buddy. And, you know, I could list 10 people here, but there can only be one. That's probably PJ is the best.
That is the correct answer. PJ is the best. We'd like to take this moment to thank PJ for being the very first person to donate to our little donations page.
Thank you.
And help fund our hosting and our general maintenance costs. It's
We're
very
here
much
for another
appreciated.
year, buddy.
We shall not be moved.
Yes, unlucky.
But yes, thank you, PJ, and we hope that the sponsorship job we've done this week was to your satisfaction.
I think it's gone well.
So,
Dear.
yeah, I think that is the end of podcast 11. Have you had a nice time, Ash?
Yeah, it's been full of jokes and advertisements. It's been really good. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed talking about games for a change instead of just news, like actual stuff we've played. That's been
It's because we
good.
had some.
I know, right? I was just like, oh, finally. And it's good because next week, you know, we can talk about the same games again. It's great.
As is tradition on the Justice for Gamers podcast.
Indeed.
Mate, we can eke these out till this time next year, I reckon.
Probably. I reckon so.
When the Division comes out.
Maybe.
Allegedly.
If you're lucky, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very, very much for listening, everybody. You can find us at www.justiceforgamers.com. We are Facebook.com/JusticeForGamers, Twitter @JusticeForGamer. We're on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube, and we're on Google Plus as well.
Yeah, somewhere.
Oh yeah, Google Plus.
You can find us on PayPal.
Thanks very much. Yeah, find us. Yeah, throw us some money on PayPal if you want to sponsor the podcast. And I think that's about it. So until next week, it is goodbye from me, Alex. It is goodbye from Ash.
Goodbye.
And yes, this goodbye is sponsored by PJ. Goodbye.
Bye.
Walking through Mockingbird Lane.
You've been listening to the Justice for Gamers podcast with Ash and me, Alex. We release this every Sunday night, so you can preload it for the week ahead. To find out more, head to justiceforgamers.com, Facebook.com/JusticeForGamers, or Twitter @JusticeForGamer. If you have anything interesting to say, pop an email to contact@justiceforgamers.com, and if you could write us a review on iTunes, we'd be forever in your debt. Have a cracking week, and we'll catch you next time.